Today we are back with the second attempt of the long-awaited Q&A, and before I go any further, just remember 16th of June on Sunday I'll be at the CEX store in Birmingham from midday to 4 PM playing you guys at Rocket League, meeting you, chatting, having a good time. So be sure if you can head over there and see me, and then I'll be in London the week after for the RLCS major event. This has to be a joke. I open the comments, the first thing I see is, why aren't you doing trading vids? I loved them, but you stopped them. Buddy. I wish I could keep doing them. There were some really nice comments that weren't questions, so won't be in this video, but I do just want to say thank you so much for all of the insanely nice and supportive comments. I really do appreciate it, and continue to leave your comments down below. I read every single one. Hey Pixel, do you think that in the current state of Rocket League you can make it as a new Rocket League YouTuber? Love the videos, been a fan since August 2017. I think that really depends on what you define as YouTuber. Can you make YouTube videos on it? Absolutely. If you enjoy it, absolutely. Can you make a living from it exclusively doing YouTube videos? I'm not so sure. The reason I specify a living is because that requires you to do long form content on YouTube, right? I think anyone could get some cool Rocket League clips, some cool Rocket League moment, maybe have a few YouTube shorts blow up, and even get a few thousand subscribers as a new channel. But if your definition of a YouTuber is full-time YouTuber, then that means making a living, and if you're relying on YouTube ad revenue alone, you need a lot of long-form video views, and as a new YouTuber, I don't think Rocket League is really in the state to do that. Unless, of course, and this is always a stipulation, you bring something new and exciting and innovative to the scene. But, of course, Rocket League in itself doesn't lend itself to something new and innovative because of how stagnant the game is in terms of core updates. You know, we need like a trading removal reverse update where they bring something as big as trading into the game for that to be possible, right? But can you do it? Of course you can. If you enjoy it, then you can do it. Can you make a living from it? That might be more challenging. I won't spend too long on this one, but it just says, what has been the hardest part of your career in YouTube? And it's been this year. It's been coming to terms with the out of my control. I can't do what I used to do. You know, I've had peaks and troughs in terms of motivation over the years, but that was always down to solely me, and it was up to me. I could do things if I wanted to, but now the amount I can do is greatly reduced regardless of my motivation or even discipline at this point. So this year's been the most difficult, but you know, it's a chance to grow, innovate, and do stuff like I'm doing now. Thoughts on Arsenal losing the Prem again? Well, if you want to hear more about my thoughts, you can check out my football channel, the full 90 in the description, but the way I see it, it was inevitable. We can still do best clips from the Discord server, like what people got from drops and tourneys. Why stop those vids? I actually do have a pick a clip video planned to film soon, so I will be doing the first pick a clip of, I believe, 2024 on the channel soon, so make sure you subscribe. Nice long comment from Lewis here, but the ultimate question was, who was your gym motivation? And actually, whilst I've been inspired over the years, you see loads of different gym success stories, what initially motivated me to really take my fitness seriously was a doctor's appointment. You know, as I got older, it became less about the vanity in terms of looking good and everything like that. It was more about feeling good and being healthy, and there were a few issues with my liver that were reversible if I made the correct lifestyle changes, decisions, and stuff like that. And I did then go on to reverse that through the gym and everything like that. So that was my motivation. It was sort of being scared straight into looking after my health realistically. Next question says, would you consider creating gym and fitness content? I love the idea of that. I just haven't got to the point where I feel like I could film myself in the gym. I don't mind filming myself in the gym, but it's the setting up the equipment and everything like that. Unless I bring a massive tripod with me, I don't really have the equipment to do that. So I don't know how I'd go about doing that, which is a little bit unfortunate. How's cricket going? We'd definitely watch it if you stuck a GoPro on, even if it is an alt channel. Cricket's going pretty well. I'm currently the top run scorer for my team, which is pretty cool. Nearly 200 runs this season already, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I wonder if Pick will come back for season 15. I'm just going to drop a heart on that just to let people know. I mean, by the time now I've recorded this, I've actually done my season 14 finale, but still. What grades did you get at A-level? That is a throwback. I got my A-level results nearly 8 years ago, but I got an A star in media studies, an A in drama, and a B in business studies, which funnily enough, all three of those subjects really do hone into a YouTube career. Like media studies, come on. Drama, I'm here performing in front of the camera. Business, YouTube is a business. I actually did apply things I learned at school, took everything I did and put it into YouTube. I mean, you could argue, and I would make a strong case for this, that I took those three subjects the furthest in my studies because I was interested in YouTube prior to that. So my interest in YouTube lent itself to those subjects. But still, It was a nice match, and it's helped me get to where I am today. This says, if you were dreaming about being a YouTuber since you were 12, why did you only start when you were 18 years old? So when I said in the video I've been doing YouTube since I was 18 years old, I meant full time as a career. I've been dreaming about being a YouTuber since I was 12, and I started when I was 12. Sorry for the confusion. Zeth says, what is the most money you have made with YouTube in 1 month? Now, I know why people want to know, but I also know why people are hesitant to talk about it. However, you know what? Screw it. I'm not making that money anymore, so that's why I feel like I can talk about it. I think if I was in the moment making that amount, I wouldn't say. One, I suppose it can come off as braggy and stuff like that. That really is the main one. You don't want to feel like you're bragging, right? But I completely understand the curiosity. And like I said, it's not even really a brag because I'm not making that anymore. So out of transparency, I will let you know. The month was January 2021. We had over 10 million views, but with YouTube ad revenue, you get paid a month late. So the ad revenue that I got paid in January 2021 was from the month December 2020. And if you know YouTube, you know that December is when companies pay the most. It's Christmas, they're throwing money at videos like it's nothing. That's why YouTubers that don't upload that often tend to upload a little bit more in December than they do in January, because it's more money for the same amount of work. I didn't have any sponsors or anything like that. I was able to get this amount, but I will say I'm just setting it up with just ad revenue, supporter creator code, earnings, and that's pretty much it. There might have been like 1,000 or 2,000 from Twitch that I can't remember, but in the grand scheme of things, it was just ad revenue and supporter creator revenue. So the ad revenue for the month December 2020 that I got paid in January 2021 was, I can't remember the exact figures, but it was approximately $50,000, which is stupid to say. That's actually wild. That's insane. But what is arguably more wild, because that was, 10 million views, long form content. That's a lot of views, a lot of money to advertisers. The craziest bit is the supporter creator earnings in 1 month alone, and that was just over $10,000. There were a few months in 2021 where it was about $10,000 to $12,000. And the reason that's insane, because if you don't know how it works, you get paid 5% of any amount of money spent using your code. So if I got $10,000 in a month, that means that my subscribers spent $200,000 in mostly Rocket League, but also Fortnite and any other game they could use my creator code. Now, given that, I'm not going to say the lifetime earnings for my creator code, because you're not really allowed to do that, and I'm probably pushing the boundaries as it is, but at the end of the day, what are they going to do? They're not watching this video. But I can tell you how much has been spent using my code, and then you can do the maths and work backwards to figure out how much that's got me if I get 5% of how much has been spent. Okay, so it will take you just 5 seconds, 10 seconds to do the calculation, but that way I'm not saying it to you. So across the nearly 4 years of there being the supporter creator program, there has been nearly $2.5 million spent using code Pixelarmy. So obviously, if Epic Games did it purely out of the goodness of their hearts to help support creators rather than taking 95% for the pleasure, then I would receive $2.5 million. But obviously, I didn't get anything close to that. But there's the calculation for you, 5% of $2.5 million across the last 4 years, which is still an obscene amount. Anyone that I'm close to, that I've spoken to about the amount, if they've been curious, they've been so far off with the amount. No one expected it to be that high. If you asked me, I wouldn't have guessed that it would be that high prior to getting involved with it. But that is why creators do plug their supporter creator code, because it really does support them. Even that 5%, it adds up. Even though if you spend $20 whole on Rocket League, I only get $1, despite encouraging you to do it with my code, it does add up. So to anyone that's ever used my supporter creator code, thank you very, very much. So with Twitch, that probably trickled in a little bit back then, but the YouTube ad revenue, the supporter creator, it was around about $60,000 in 1 month, which is mental. I didn't mean to talk about money for this long, but like I said, I feel like I can now because I'm so far removed from that amount. Like, I'm not earning anywhere near that right now, you know what I mean? So I'm happy to say that just to show you what's possible, and I think it can be inspiring when it doesn't come across as braggy or like you're flexing. And I've never been someone that, despite a few years ago earning a lot for anyone's age, but particularly someone of my age, I've never been someone that liked to flex. I've never been someone that spends loads of money. Like, I've had the same PC for the last 7 years, the same setup, everything's been the same. Money isn't my main motivator, and I think that's why I've been able to keep going. Tell you what though, it's not even 9 a.m. and I am sweating recording in this room. That's what makes it so difficult to record in summer. Look at me, I'm sweating. I did just come back from a run, did my longest run in a few years actually, like 4.5 miles. It was good, felt good, but It is boiling in here. I'm going to RLCS London. Would love to see you there. I will be there too. There's a lot of comments here asking me to play other games, you know, Fortnite, Minecraft, Fall Guys, Stumble Guys, even in this comment from Finley. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that, in all honesty. Rocket League is my bread and butter, right? And now that season 15 is starting, I'm looking to at least start making a few more videos and seeing how it goes. But also, if I don't make any long form content, I still do think I can make very good short form content on YouTube. Like if I made a YouTube short series and focused as much on the shorts as I did on the long form videos back in the day, I still think I could sort of revive my channel towards 1 million subscribers, because that is of course the lifetime dream, and we have fallen a little bit short because of the whole trading fiasco. But I think it all comes down to priorities, and YouTube this year, off the back of trading being removed, hasn't been my #1 priority. But I know if I made it such, I think 1 million subscribers would be fairly straightforward to achieve, given that we're over 90% of the way there. I'm using your code in the Fortnite item shop. I appreciate that. When did you decide you wanted to be a YouTuber, and how did you get started? I've said this so many times before. As soon as I started YouTube, I wanted to be it because it was fun, and I got started because I enjoyed filming stuff. It's as simple as that. Maybe you should make a new channel. Believe me, I've considered it, making a new channel for other content, obviously, as well. As part of my YouTube career, I do my football channel on the side, the Full 90. I'm pushing towards 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year with exclusively long form content as well, and that's going pretty well. How do you find fulfillment and purpose? Oh my goodness. I think the key to feeling grateful, I think gratitude is very important when it comes to baseline happiness. I think it really is not having too high expectations and just enjoying the small things. I feel very fulfilled in my life. This year, 2024, has been the best year of my life to date. 2025 will be even better. And I can say that with confidence because I don't find necessarily fulfillment from superficial things. You know, the relationships with the people close to me, my girlfriend in particular, is so good that is how I feel fulfilled. It's the people that I surround myself with rather than material things that I would just keep chasing. And, you know, stuff like money, like we've spoken about, subscribers, fame, if you want to call it that. If that's all you're going for, I can promise you it's never going to be enough. If money is your #1 motivator, you'll never think you have enough. But for me, money's not my #1 motivator. So right now, I feel like I have enough. Do you know what I mean? It's really interesting, but it's true. And off the back of that, to go back to the earnings thing, when my earnings increased by 10-fold over the early years from when I was earning basically nothing, my life didn't change at all, really, you know? How did the decline of Rocket League impact your mental health? Luckily, off the back of the last question I just answered, Rocket League YouTube wasn't my main focus, so it wasn't as detrimental as I'm sure it definitely could have been. Don't get me wrong, if Rocket League was my everything, I put my, you know, all into it all day, every day, I'm sure it would have affected me a lot more. And to be fair, there is a little bit of like an identity, not crisis, but partly I'm going through day to day, you know, I think, well, what am I now? Because I've always been known as the YouTube guy and then the Rocket League guy. And if I'm not that, who am I? But being faced with that question, I realize I'm much more than that. And it is, again, the people closest to me that show me that each and every single day. So it hasn't affected me as much as objectively you could argue it should or could have. And I'm very, very grateful for that. My mum commented saying, Matt, you know me so well, I am watching Love You Loads Mum. And it actually is my mum. And someone said, are you actually? And my mum said, yes, I am. And someone said, y'all are so gullible, assuming that she's not my mum. The person that commented that is my mum. That's so funny. What skills do you have outside of YouTube? Is there a career path you would take? I mean, to be honest, even if Rocket League YouTube is kind of a thing of the past, right? Content online is bigger than it's ever been. You know, marketing online, business is online, attention is online. So there's always somewhere I could go. You know, I've got a plethora of skills that I've developed, whether it's presence on camera, editing, if I really had to. I'm not a huge fan of editing, but I could edit for people. I could manage companies' content. I think that's where I can be useful, is to companies that are perhaps a little bit old-fashioned, that want to get online, get content made and promote their brand. I could help a company go from being essentially an offline company to a bit more of a new, exciting company with an online presence. I think my skills would be very valued in that field. So there's definitely things that I could do and that I can take from my years as a full-time YouTuber. And I think it's still very interesting. Whilst it's normal for people to create content and everything these days, it's still quite rare. Like, I'm sure if you're watching this, it's unlikely that you know someone personally close in your life that does content creation for a living. Certainly not like I've done for so many years. So it's still, albeit accepted and normal for people to make content, it's still quite rare for someone to have as much experience doing it as I do. And I think all the skills I've developed doing that can help me in that kind of field. Like the fact that I just spoke about that in one take without stuttering, just off the dome, because I could waffle and speak forever. That's a talent that sometimes I don't really recognize that I even have, but I still do it every single day. But there we go. I think that's the bulk of the questions. There's a lot of repeat questions because obviously everyone wants to know similar sorts of things, but that is going to do it for this video. I mean, you're watching this far, so clearly you care about me somewhat or you found it entertaining, so I really do appreciate it. Be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe down below to join the Pixel Army. I've been Pixel, you've been awesome, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.
Flying in a missile, haters throwing shade, never pick me, not an issue. I am a beast, I'm at the top, I run these beats, I hold my spot, so stop before it hits you. It's pick a pixel.